My personal view on the recent Minnesota incident and basic principle today, I want to talk about what happened in Minnesota. A federal ICE officer fatally shot a woman during an enforcement operation. Federal officials say she tried to use her vehicle against agents. Local leaders disagree with that narrative. My core belief: respect for law enforcement. I firmly believe people should never try to stop federal agents or police from doing their jobs. These officers are sworn to enforce the law, even when that enforcement is controversial, and interference puts everyone at risk, including bystanders. Context: about the victim's death. It's undeniably very sad that the woman involved died. Anybody being killed in a law enforcement encounter is a tragedy. But the simple fact remains, had she not tried to interfere with the agents, this confrontation may never have escalated to lethal force. We should approach this with compassion for loss, without confusing sympathy for unlawful interference with support for lawful enforcement. Why respect for federal enforcement matters. When federal agents are carrying out lawful duties, whether immigration enforcement or other mandates, it's critical for public safety that we support their ability to do their jobs without obstruction. Why this matters. Interfering with law enforcement, from police to federal agents, is not only unlawful, but dangerous. It creates a situation where split-second decisions have to be made under threat, and innocent people, including the person interfering, can get hurt or killed. In the Minnesota case, federal officials maintain the officer responded to a perceived threat, a vehicle allegedly used as a weapon. Situations like this are chaotic, and you don't get second chances to make the right call. Respect for law enforcement isn't blind loyalty. It's recognition of the rule of law we all depend on. Media narratives and national conversation. Next, I want to talk about news media narratives regarding ICE. Far too often I see media pushing negative messages about these federal agents. My view on media responsibility. I don't think news outlets should frame federal law enforcement as villains by default. If anything, media should encourage support for neighbors, family members, and citizens to stand behind laws and those charged with enforcing them, including removing illegal aliens who've broken immigration law. Why this matters. Every illegal alien crossed our border unlawfully. Many have gone on to commit serious crimes after arriving here, a reality that backs up the need for strict enforcement and reinforces the rule of law. Responsible media should report facts, not amplify division. Understanding enforcement realities. Let's talk about the risks federal agents face in the line of duty. Stats on attacks and threats. Department of Homeland Security reports increases in threats and assaults against ICE officers, including a significant surge in car attacks and violent incidents in the past year compared to prior years. Some reports cite increases exceeding 3,000% in certain categories. There has also been a sharp rise in overall assaults on ICE officers. Why this context matters. This means federal agents are regularly dealing with hostility, even danger, while performing duties many Americans want done. That reality should be part of the national conversation, not glossed over. Balancing accountability and enforcement. I believe in accountability for law enforcement, all of it. If an officer makes a mistake, that should be investigated thoroughly. Minnesota case and previous injury. The ICE officer in the Minnesota shooting had previously been injured in an earlier encounter on duty. That doesn't justify every action, but it highlights the dangerous environments these jobs can entail. Why enforcement matters. At the same time, law enforcement exists to protect public safety, including carrying out immigration laws that citizens pass through their elected representatives. Support for enforcement isn't about being anti-immigrant. It's about upholding law and order. We can be compassionate about tragic outcomes and still advocate for safe, lawful enforcement and clear public support for the rule of law. Standing with law enforcement. At the end of the day, I stand in complete support of the men and women who put on a badge to protect our communities and enforce the law. That includes our federal agents, ICE officers, state troopers, and local police. These individuals run toward danger while most of us run away from it. They make difficult split-second decisions in high-stress situations that most people will never experience. Their job isn't easy, and it's often thankless, but without law enforcement, there is no order, no safety, and no rule of law. We can care about people, show compassion for tragic outcomes, and still support the mission of protecting our country and our communities. I believe in accountability, but I also believe in respect, backing the badge and letting officers do their jobs. Our nation is stronger when we support those who protect it, not tear them down. That's where I stand.